Okay, thank you everybody for joining us. I'll begin the webinar. Um, I've allowed people to enter the room and I'm seeing some familiar faces as I'm speaking today. So again, thank you for joining us here at Hantec Market for our webinar. My name is Toby Ajayi. I'll be facilitating today's webinar and we're going to be discussing fundamental and technical analysis. But just before we start though, I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page. Everybody understands what we're here for, what we're doing. I want everybody to know that, the reason why webinars are actually taking place now is because of COVID. And I just want to make sure, and Hantec wants to make sure that everybody is okay, doing well at home. Please listening to the stay-at-home rules that have been instructed by our governments, and just make sure that everybody is taking necessary precaution in doing so. For many of our clients or people that know Hantec, oftentimes we do these sessions within our classes in Lagos, Abuja, and PH. But due to the circumstances, we're now facilitating our webinars online. So again, we just want to pray and make sure that everybody is okay and everybody is doing well during this time of COVID. As I mentioned, my name is Toby Ajayi. I've taken some of our classes before. I've done our introduction. I was actually here yesterday. I see some names that were here yesterday. Thank you again for joining us. And for the new people, you are welcome. So today's class, as I mentioned, will be on fundamental and technical analysis, and it's just an overview, an introduction. This week is still introduction. As our webinar series goes deeper, you guys will learn more and more and more so that you are comfortable on the trading markets, okay? I will drop several links inside this chat so that you can use them to either register and open your trading account with us here at Hantec, or look at the number of webinars that we have coming forwards. We update that page very frequently, and you will see as of next week, we'll be taking you through basic and live trading. So one thing that I'll do right now is put inside the link for registration, so that anybody that is interested in trading with us can open their account as we're here, so that you can get on board and start trading with us as we continue our journey through the month of April and trading, okay? So just before I start, I wanted to go through a little disclaimer, which just shows what we do and how we do it here at Hantec, and also for you to just understand what we're doing. So at Hantec Markets, we provide an execution-only service. Any opinions expressed by our presenter, which is me, should not be construed as investment advice or investment recommendation. This webinar does not have regard to the specific investment objectives, financial situation, and needs of any specific person who may receive it. You should only speculate with money that you can afford to lose. Please ensure you fully understand the risks involved with seeking independent advice if necessary prior to entering such transactions. Okay. This is just telling you that Hantec, we're in the business of just giving you education and learning and teaching you how to move from point A to B in your journey of financial freedom. So you shouldn't come and expect that we'll give you advice. Okay, this is where you buy, this is where you sell. What we do is we give you the tools that you will then take onto your own trading account and then start making those decisions for yourself. Okay. And as I mentioned, today's topic will be on fundamental and technical analysis, one of my favorite subjects. You know, it's something that I take very seriously, as someone that has been working within trading, someone that understands trading, um, someone that gets involved in this online market for financial freedom. Fundamental and technical analysis is what will help and assist you in making correct decisions on the trading market. Okay. And for those who have joined my sessions before, I know we have the opportunity to answer questions. What I like to do is I will go through my content first, and then the last 5-10 minutes of my session, I'll open it to the floor so anybody can ask me questions. Okay, so please raise your hand at the end of my webinar, because a lot of the questions that you may have, I may answer as we're going through the class. Okay, so be rest assured, at the end of the session, as I mentioned, you will have your time to ask me as many questions as you like. Okay, but please just let me go through my content. And again, if you're interested in anything that we are doing here today, please do not hesitate to register on that link that I've put inside the chat box. Okay, that link is what will get you your account and get you ready and up and running with everything that I'm talking about today. And I've just put that link again inside the chat. Okay, so let me start. So what is fundamental analysis? This is just an overview on fundamental analysis. What I'll do is I'll split it in two parts. We'll go fundamentals first, and then we'll then talk about technical after fundamental. And then I'll also use the charts to explain a little bit about what I'm talking about. Okay. So fundamental analysis in FX trading involves predicting the price of a currency and its trends by analyzing historic and current economic conditions, government policies, and societal factors. The main thing that people should understand about fundamental analysis is that it is the use of news. Okay, anything that comes from our government, whether it be local within our country or whether it be global inside the entire world, these things that come out can affect how trading goes. Okay, one of the main things that is affecting and driving markets, which our MD, if you follow us, you can come to our webinars on Mondays where he gives a market overview. What he talks about right now that is affecting and driving the market, which news is coming out, is COVID. Corona is causing all kinds of stress across the world, in your local region and in your global region. That news can affect the markets and everything that is involved inside the market. So what I tell people, what I tell my clients, what I tell myself when I'm trading is I need to understand what is happening in and around my industry so that I can then make correct trading decisions. Okay. It's just like you're a cab driver. You need to make sure that anything that is got to do with your car is okay before you start taking people and driving people from point A to B. If there's a problem, then there's going to be issues for you and you won't be able to drive that car well and you won't be able to perform well. It's the same thing with fundamental analysis and news. If you don't understand what is happening around you, what is happening that's affecting your trades, it can cause problems later down when you're trading. Okay. So what I'll go through, as I've mentioned, now you know that fundamental analysis has to do with news. What I'll go through is some of the news that you should be looking out for as a trader and things that you should know, even if it's not by, okay, this is what's happening today, this is what's happening tomorrow, but you should have an idea of, okay, this is what's happening that can affect my trades. Okay. So key types of data that is released that has a direct effect on your trading are what you can see on your screen. So anything to do with interest rates, GDP figures, inflation, CPI, retail sales, and employment statistics. These are the type of data that when you see that is being released, you should start thinking, okay, it may impact my trading. Okay. And I hope everybody here has pen and paper and is writing this down, because this is crucial information that will assist and improve your trading if you have an understanding of what these things are. And if you don't, this is where, again, Hantec Markets comes into play. Today, like I said, today is just an overview. As we go deeper through our sessions, myself and my colleagues and the other professionals that will be calling to take these webinars will be the ones that will be explaining in detail what all of these things are. Okay, so if you're seeing some of these things and it's not looking or it's not making any sense, just this is why we encourage you to open your account so that you can get all of these these educational tools. It doesn't stop here. It's all free. What we're doing here is free. The same way you've come here is all free. All of our teaching is free, so you can learn how to improve and maximize your trading. So just going back to the key types of data, as you can see, these data does not only come from, let's just say, the Nigerian government. It comes from US, UK, Japan, China, Russia. Now it's starting to form a picture in your mind that, there's different things around the world that can affect my trading, and news and fundamental analysis is what I often use to what I call draw a picture or chart a plan as to where I'm going inside the markets. Sometimes you open your charts and you think, what is happening? Nothing here makes sense. But by understanding these key types of data that may be coming in the coming weeks or the coming few days, you can then start planning the way you want to trade. Okay. And I'll go deeper into what I mean by making plans or thinking ahead. For those who are new to trading and for those who are experienced in trading, this is one aspect that I feel, you really need to make use of. Mapping out your week and your days. Just like anybody that's about to travel, you just don't leave your house. You know that you need to go to Yaba, but you don't know how you're going to get there. So what I mean by mapping out your weeks and your days, it's the same for trading. You need to understand how you're going to get from point A to point B, whether it be per day or whether it be per week or even per month. Someone like myself, I make notes inside my trade book. Okay, this is what I expect to make per month. Even before we go per month, I know what I want this year. This 2020, I know this is the goal that I'm working towards, okay? So how do I get there? Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this is my trade plan. And what I use to assist me is my economic calendar. This economic calendar can be used in finding out what data. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, fundamental analysis is news and data that affects your trading. The economic calendar is where you can find all of this information, okay? I always ask traders, I even ask myself, if I'm not looking at my economic calendar, what am I doing? How do I know what is happening? I can be trading as of right now, and some data will come out in 10 minutes that will completely change the direction of the market. But if I don't understand that, what am I doing this for? Okay. So what I've written here is many traders overlook the importance of the economic calendar as they are more concerned with their charts. The economic calendar is a useful tool which highlights key moments within the global economic climate and can be used for many things. Okay. like I said, many of us, when we're trading, we're so caught up with, oh, this is up, this is down, this is left, this is buy, this is sell. But before you even get to buy and sell, there can be news that is making the market go in the direction that you think the market is going. So it's always key and important for you to know exactly what is coming out, okay? And when you're looking at the calendar, understanding of what the actual figures mean is important. What news has impact, okay? And don't worry, I'm going to actually show you how I use my calendar, okay? Look at the bigger picture. Many traders tend to focus on just one area when looking at fundamentals. Do not miss key events that may affect your trade, okay? And the last point, again, that I always put at the end of the week, for the following week, being prepared, okay? What I mean by being prepared is that if I know, for example, non-farm payrolls comes out first Friday of every month, and I'm trading on Wednesday, okay? The month is going to turn on that Friday that is coming. If I know that that is going to cause wahala or it's going to cause some stress on my trades, what I'll do is I'll review my positions and I will then decide whether or not I want to continue that trading. Because what you do not want is when those figures come out, say you're in profit, all the profit that you have made, because that news is so strong, it can completely wipe all of the profit that you have made in your trading, okay? So let me quickly show you what I mean by economic calendar and why it is important to understand how it works, okay? So there's two places I use our economic calendar. So you can actually find your economic calendar at hmarkets.com. So Hantec ourselves, we actually, for our clients and for people that use our service, okay, we actually have our own in-house built analysis tools. Not only do we have analysis, but that economic calendar, I saw a few questions already about how do we actually use this economic calendar. So Hantec already gives you your economic calendar. You can find it on our website, okay? Just in this URL, hmarkets.com. Let me even put this in the chat so some of you can look at it as we're talking. Okay, I've put the link for our calendar there. So right now, what the Hantec Markets one is showing us, which is very clear and simple to look at, is you have the date, the 6th of April to the 12th of April. That's Monday to Sunday this week, okay? We then have the time that the data is coming out. And we then have currencies that it will affect, okay? So for example, this first one is telling me retail sales. As I mentioned, if you looked at my slides, you saw retail sales. Retail sales has come out today at 1 o'clock, just 23 minutes ago. For me, I'm in London, so that's 23 minutes ago. It will give you the forecast. So this is what the analysts think we're going to get, 1.9%. When the data first came out, previous month, this is where we were, 1.3%. And our actual forecast, our actual numbers at 1 o'clock was 4.7%. So you can already see that, you know, anyone that was trading anything to do with Brazil, this news would have affected that place. And you can see there's a big difference, exceeds the forecast by 2.8%. This can either be positive or negative. And this is why I said it's always good to understand what news is coming out, irrespective of what the actual figure will be, but whether or not it's going to affect your trades. We also do a little bit of coloring here. The white box means low impact news, yellow, medium, red, high impact. I know a lot of our clients will trade CAD, which is Canadian dollar. As you can see, we have IVEPMI. So that is coming out today at 3 o'clock. And it's red news. That means it's important news. So, but we can see previous figures was 54.1. Forecast is 54.1. So there's not much change between there. So although it's high impact news, things can very likely stay the same if it comes out at 54.1. So just going back, this is Tuesday. I could then look, okay, Wednesday. What is coming out on Wednesday? What am I trading? What can be affected? I then go back. I can continue going down. Okay, Thursday. This is what is happening on Thursday. So this is what I mean by planning your week. You know, coming here, again, it's very simple. One page, it has all the information there. It will tell you exactly what is happening. And this economic calendar is taken directly from MetaQuotes. If you're familiar with MT4, they're the providers of the platform. Another place that I go to, investing.com. I'll put this link. Again, we're in the business of sharing information here at Hantec. I'll put this link here for those that are interested. Investing.com, I've been using this website for almost 7 years now. Very good because it gives us a lot of information on what is happening in the world globally. You understand? So I use the economic, you can see I've already signed in, Toby, and then I'll click economic calendar. And again, very similar to how the one on Hantec works. It will give you the time, the currencies that will be affected, the importance. So you have 3 bulls: low volatility, medium volatility, and high volatility expected. Can you see? And it will then give you, if I click this link, it will take me to that decision or the information or the rates. I can then look at, okay, tomorrow, what is happening tomorrow? So again, what I'm trying to get everybody to understand is that when it comes to trading, before we even get to the charts, yes, we have to understand, as I mentioned, where we are going. This is a very good way of us understanding where we are going. For example, I know many people will trade oil. Every Wednesday, we have crude oil inventories. Inventories is a very, very important one for anybody that is concerned with oil. Why is basically the figure. Every Wednesday, OPEC will release figures as to how many new barrels of oil have been entered into the market. So the previous month was 13 million. The forecast for this month is 10 million. And then we'll then see tomorrow at 3:30 UK time how many new barrels of oils were introduced into the market. If there's surplus, we will then see the price of oil crash. And I'll even take you to my charts because that was one of the examples that I wanted to give. Give me MT4. Again, this is why it's very important to understand what is happening in the market so you can then make conscious trading decisions, okay? So before we go into technicals and using the charts to decide our trades, you can see this area of just white space, this area here. You know, some of us may have been trading technical before we saw this gap. But do you know, everybody here, that the reason that this area gapped was because of news? So even if you have MSc, PhD in technical analysis, when certain news comes out, it does not matter what you have done. This can cause extreme pressure on your trading. And if you did not know that news was going to happen, you could have been in a very, very bad position. And the news that came out here was that in Saudi and OPEC. For those who don't know, OPEC is a group of countries that supply oil to the world. In this instance, at the beginning of March, OPEC is always fighting with Saudi because these are the two biggest parties that give oil to the world. Saudi had then told OPEC that, look, what we are going to do is we're going to continue flooding the market with oil. As this news came out, it caused extreme pressure because why? There's too many barrels of oil on the market, which makes the price of oil cheap. So it's now caused a huge gap. And as I mentioned, all your technical analysis, all that drawing your patterns, all of that does not make any difference when news comes out. So this is why going back, it's very important to have a good appreciation of what news means. Okay. So let me go back to my PowerPoint. So I've spoken about the calendar. Now, how do you look at what is important beyond the calendar itself? Okay. What I mean by, okay, we've got the news from the calendar. How do I use that information that is on the calendar? As traders, there are instances in the market we draw relationships. What I mean by drawing relationships is understanding, okay, if X is happening, Y is going to happen. For example, historically, gold is seen as a safe haven asset when equity markets are volatile. What I mean by gold seen as a safe haven asset is because the value of gold is often good. When people are scared of what is happening on US 30 or the Dow Jones or the NASDAQ, what they'll do is that they'll move their funds away from the equity markets, the stock market, and they will go and buy gold. So the price of gold will rise. So this relationship that we then see is what oftentimes, in terms of news and traders, this is where they draw their conclusions. Okay, I see that the Dow Jones is going to be severely weak. A lot of investors are pulling their money from stock markets. They're investing in gold. This might be a good time to actually buy gold because the value of the gold will increase. So I can then sell at a later date. Okay, so this is what I mean by just understanding relationships. And also understanding the events themselves. Obviously the way Corona has come out of nowhere and has upset the world, and it has changed the way we see things. So there are certain events that we cannot account for. There's nothing that we can do in a situation like this. But it's also vital to understand that there are events that will come out very frequently. So when these events come out, it is a good time for us to either pull money from our investment and our trading or continue trading because of the volatility that will be inside the markets because of that news. Okay. Again, just going back, I see a lot of people asking questions, how do we get involved? As I mentioned, first and foremost, if you do not already have an account with us, you have to register and open your trading account with us here at Hantec to get access to these markets. I've put the link back inside the chat for anybody that is interested in trading. All of this information can be provided to you by your account managers. I'm just one person that works at Hantec. There's teams in all of our offices that have as much experience, if not more, for a lot of times than I do, and they can be more than happy to sit down with you and speak on how these things can affect your trading. But just going back to the events, that if there's anything that you take away from this class or this session, just write down. These are the things that will be affecting your trades, whether you like it or not. Whether you are a diehard technical trader that just draws your line on your charts till tomorrow. These events will be the things that will cause volatility within your trading. So we have non-farm payrolls, often known as NFP. This is the every first Friday of the month. This is a figure that comes out from America, which shows the jobs that were added. So let's just say in the month of March, 100,000 new jobs were added to the economy. That figure will then be released the first Friday of April. Why it's important to know this is because let's just say the number is positive. It shows the general health of the US economy. So this is why a lot of people use non-farm payrolls as a good opportunity to trade. It will show the strength of the dollar. It will show how well the economy is doing. And because US is such a huge economy, second largest, it will then have an effect on all of the global markets. So non-farm payrolls is one that you should write down. For anybody of us that is trading any commodities, as I mentioned, every Wednesday we have crude oil inventories. The inventory is what shows how many barrels of oil have been added to the world. For those who are asking for links on where to find Hantec's economic calendar, please see below. There are 2 links there. We have RPI, so retail price index and consumer price index figures, retail sales and inflation figures. Any of these any of these areas that you see when you're using your economic calendar that news will come out, please note it down and just see that, okay, this is going to be areas where I will be able to trade. Okay. So that quickly goes through fundamental analysis. Again, I'm taking this session again in 2 weeks. So for anybody, I will go deeper into what it means for fundamentals and how to use fundamentals to actually use this to trade. So please join us. Again, this is just the beginning of our session. And this is just an overview. Each of the presenters will take time into going into details on how these things work, what we do, how do we enter trades, what should we be doing when news is coming out, okay? So please make sure you register to our upcoming webinars, so that you can learn in detail. So the second half, because I know that we're getting pressed for time, the second half of this, I'll quickly go through what technical analysis is for those who do not know technical analysis. And I'll then show you a little bit of chart formations and then, how these chart formations will work. So technical analysis, okay. And one thing that I'll say before I start technical analysis, myself as a trader, and what I tell my clients is that for you to be successful in this world of trading, you have to have an understanding or at least appreciate both types of analysis. I've seen very good traders who are maybe 70% technical, 30% fundamental, but at least there's still a little bit of mix and match. I feel it's very difficult for you to be only one type of trader. Whether you like it or not, you'll be a balance of both of these types of analysis. And oftentimes that's when you see success, because you can balance both of them. So technical analysis is the other side of fundamentals. So it not disregards, but it doesn't take news as the main driver for your trading. Okay. They say price often moves as a pattern, and the pattern often repeats itself, whether it be today or whether it be 10 years. what technical analysts do is that they look at the chart pattern. So they look at the price, up, down, left, right, and they try and predict their trades using that chart pattern. Okay. Again, for anybody that wants to know a little bit more about what I'm talking, please register for your account with the links that I've put in there. Myself and the rest of the account managers can go into details about how this is done and how this works. Okay. For me, when I'm looking at my charts, there's two main areas that set the tone. You know, you can get inside a crazy hole if you continue trading technically. You put all your indicators, all your drawings on your chart, and then 2 days later you won't understand what you just put on your charts. But for me, there's always one place where everything will start, and that is support and resistance. Okay, support and resistance form the basics of any trader that is trading from a technical point of view. Okay, support and resistance levels are areas on a chart that a market price has difficulty breaking through. And again, if you don't understand, don't worry, I'll take us to our charts very shortly so we can actually look at areas of support and resistance. Support levels are formed when a falling market hits a given level and bounces. Resistance is formed when a rising market hits a high and then falls. The more times price hits a point of support and or resistance, the stronger the relationships we can draw. Okay. So what I'll do now, so that you can actually visually see what is occurring on there. Give me a moment. Let me pull my MT4. Okay, so this one was on oil. Again, for those who are, because this class is for people that maybe understand a little bit about trading already. So if you're not understanding some of the things that I'm saying, please make sure you're joining our basic trading class that was already held last week Friday. We'll be doing some more within our webinar schedule. In fact, let me put that webinar schedule inside the chat now so people can register to classes that they may not know already exist. So just 1 second. This is the link to all of our webinars. So you can see and choose and select any webinar that you may have missed. And you can also watch previous webinars, okay? So here we can see a price pattern. So each of these green and red items that you're seeing on here is reflecting the movement of our prices, okay? So what you can also see is that there's a pattern that has been formed. We have what we call the body. So this is the large area of the candle. You then have the wick, which is the skinny line that goes either up or below our body, okay? And then if you just look at the bottom, we have the date. This is the date that the market has touched those prices. And on the right-hand side is the actual price. My black line that is floating up and down here, this is the current price of oil. So for US oil, it's been, for 1 barrel, we're seeing it at $29, okay? So why I say support and resistance is extremely important is that it shows us levels in the market where price does not want to go through anymore. And we can see a very clear one here at the bottom. So I've just drawn my line there. You can see this thick red line. And why it's a level of support is that we can see that the price has gone there on numerous occasions, but hasn't been able to fall below basically the $20 mark. Okay, we've done 1, 2, all of this, 3, 4, 5, all of this area here. You see, the wick has touched this red line and has just continued to bounce. So you can see that this is a strong level of support. Okay, so anybody that's executing trades, I then know that the bottom, if I'm going to place a sell trade right now, the very least that this market can go is this $20 mark. And traders can use this to basically make decisions on, okay, this is how much profit I want to make. This is how much loss I'm willing to take. A trader can enter this as a buy trade now, believing that the price of oil will increase, but then he'll have this $20 as his safety, this $20 mark as his safety. You know, it's really dependent on your style of trading. And we can also see a small level of resistance here. So I'll say in and around this area. So another thing that I use my support and resistance for is for drawing what I call channels, okay, or drawing what I call a range. And what I mean by range is that you have a very top resistance and you then have a very bottom support, okay? So with this resistance, that means I'm showing that, okay, price has been here once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6. This $30 mark is clear to see that the price is having issues breaking through $30. The last time we broke through $30 was on the price was above $30 was on the 16th of March. So we've gone for almost 2 weeks, and we can now see that this is the trading range. In between $20 and $30 is where the price of oil is fluctuating. Okay, so that is my resistance 1 and my resistance 2. No, sorry, my resistance 1 and my support 1. Sorry. So this is my range, okay? And why it's important to use this as an area of trading is that you then know that, okay, for the last 2 weeks, this is all the area in which I can trade. And this isn't the only support and resistance that we can draw from here. There are other levels. For example, here is a level of resistance for some time, and then it can also form as a level of support. So drawing these two relationships is oftentimes what we call as being the important in drawing an image of what the market is going through. Again, if I pull another chart, as for time frames, how to trade these is going to be very, very in-depth. Remember, this is just overview. This is almost like beginner. So if we're looking at actual entry points, how to use price and resistance, please join us. I've put the webinar link inside the chat, okay? We'll be doing advanced and basic trading classes. So this is using the analysis that I've gone through today, using the techniques that my colleagues have spoken to previously, and applying it to your live trading account, okay? So don't worry if today I'm just going through things I'm not going into detail. That's because we're saving this for the classes where we're doing live trading, okay? So please register and join us on those sessions. Another tool, I'll be taking this class shortly, towards the end of the month. Technical tool that I use is called Fibonacci. So Fibonacci gives me what we call a retracement. Let me change the color because this color is I can't see this yellow. Just give me one. What do you like? Let's make it blue. Okay. So again, trading from a technical standpoint or technical analysis involves me using the chart patterns to draw analysis. Okay. I'm looking for the retracement of this from the very bottom, the lowest low, to the most recent high, which is this area here. Again, let me draw it. From our most recent lowest low to our most recent highest high. So I've drawn it up. And this retracement is just showing the levels that the market is now falling to and touching. Okay, 50% is 50% of the movement from the bottom to the top. And similarly for these different levels. This tool is very, very good at predicting where the market will go. This session I'll be hosting, and I'll spend 1 hour alone just on Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so if again all of this is a little bit abstract or is going over your head, just leave it. When we meet up again towards the end of the month, I'll go into greater detail about how this facility works. So just going back to our slides. Technical analysis draws from just understanding chart patterns. As I've gone through just briefly there, you can see that the price moves in one direction. You can then use drawing tools, support and resistance to then predict where the markets will enter in its next movement, okay? So that is really what trading technically involves. So for me to round off now, so we can get into our sessions, the Fibo class, Mr. Isaiah, give me just a moment. Please follow the link. You'll sign up. The Fibo class is not on there at the moment. It's going to be towards the end of the month because we put all of our classes in 2-week slots. So that's why we want you to come back and visit that page. So when you see that Fibonacci class, you'll be able to sign up. But just know that it will be towards the end of our month. So just make sure that you're joining us for the classes in between. So just before I round up, I quickly want to go through why it's important for us to understand, okay, what Hantec does and why you should join us. Our global reach is it's not even almost, it is unlike any other broker that you see in Nigeria. We've been around since 1990 and we've been opening offices. And even by the time you probably meet us by the end of the month, you'll see that we have a new office in 2020 by God's grace. Because we've been in the business for 30 years now, encouraging, getting people to understand what it means to trade on the financial markets, okay? So one of the reasons why a lot of our clients enjoy dealing with us here at Hantec is because we have an understanding within all of our local regions, and we also have a global understanding of what it means to work within financial services. We offer an excellent trading environment. So whether you pick us up on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, just know that when you're trading with us here at Hantec, all the conditions, all your pricing spreads are level 1, AA plus, in fact. We create an excellent place for all of our traders to be housed so that they can make the best trading decisions. Funding is very easy with us. You know, we have instant deposits, withdrawals are processed, we say within 24 hours, but oftentimes it's even less than, so that we make sure that your money is with you as and how you request it. Okay, and again, if you want more information about who Hantec is, please join us on our Saturday webinar, introductory webinar, where we go through who Hantec is and what we do. We offer world-class trainings like we do. like I'm doing now, because of COVID is why we're doing it online. But beforehand, all of our sessions, all of our classes are done either in auditoriums or within our offices. You can come in and meet us, see who we are, what we do, and how we can train you from moving from point A to B. And another reason is that we put you first, client focus. We make sure that you, as your trader that is trading with us, we ensure that anything that you require from us, within our power, we'll try. We go above and beyond for any client with us from point A to point B. And that's why we have an open door policy. Again, because of Corona, please do not enter any of our offices. But when Corona is gone, enter as you can, as you will. Please, any of our account managers are ready to help you as you enter our classes. Okay. So I've come through to the end of my content now. Again, thank you guys for being here. What I want to do now is go through some of the questions that I've seen added already, so that we can then again discuss. I want to understand what you guys took away from this session. Someone's asked, please, can you post the lesson again for one to go through all over? Yes, all of our sessions are posted on our webinar page. So please visit that page to also sign up and register to new webinars and also see content that's been there that we've done already. Someone's asked now, do I have to refresh the page to see the economic news, or once it is time, the data will be out? So that's a very good question. Economic news and our website is live. So as the data is being received, it will automatically refresh. You don't even have to refresh yourself. The platform and the website will refresh already for you, and it will show you the news as it comes out. Okay. Please, what's your opinions about indicators, EAs, and robots? That's a good question. It goes and it ties in line with technical analysis. EAs, robots, indicators are good if you know how to use them well. And again, I have an advanced trading class as well, which I'll be doing towards the end of the month, where I talk about certain indicators that you should be using. As some of you may know, there are millions of indicators out there, millions of EAs out there. If you put all of them on one chart, you won't see anything. And that's the truth. But if you know how to use them well, they can be extremely helpful with building your trading. They're not 100%. I'm not going to sit here and tell you any of them are 100%, but some of them are good enough to help you with trading. Okay. Thank you. You love the aspect of economic calendar. I appreciate. Just give me a moment. There's quite a few questions. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is a good question. How can you know a particular news will cause a given currency to be bearish or bullish? For those who don't know what bearish and bullish means, that means news that will affect the market to either go up or to go down. Okay. Yeah, that's a very good question. It's very dependent on the figures and the relationship between those figures. Okay. Some of our impacts of when I'm using investing.com, if I go back to investing.com, it will show, if I go to today, green often means that it's positive news. Okay. So this is why I like using this website. The information was better than expected, which often can say that the market will go in favor of that. Red is below, so that means the market can crash. So that's one way of determining whether or not the news is going to be good or bad. Thank you. I've gotten great value and hope webinars will continue even after COVID-19. Yes, that's something that we're going to look at. Mr. Akintunde, we realize that this is a good way of touching some of our clients that cannot enter our classes. So we wish and we'll hope that we'll be able to continue doing these webinars after the pandemic. Are you going to post a Fibonacci video on our one? Yes, once I've done the Fibonacci webinar, I'll make sure that everybody has access to it. Please, like I said, register to your account. And now that we've reached the session end, one thing that I want to say is thank you for joining us. Another thing that we're running as a give back to our clients that have been with us through these webinars is anyone that registers for their account, opens a new training account with us here in Hantec in the month of April, we'll give them 100% bonus, okay? Anyone that opens and trades and funds their account with $250 minimum will get that same amount credited into their account. So that's just a thank you for, again, joining us on these sessions. This is one thing that I keep to the end just to make sure that people are engaged. I can still see that there's we're just under capacity in this lesson now. This shows that people are willing and learning. So why not start today? Understanding what I'm going through, get your account ready now as we're at the beginning of our session. And by the end of the month, you can be up and ready, running with the fund in your account, with your bonus in your account, and your account is ready up and running. Okay. Registered IB partnerships, please. We'll be having a partnership session very shortly. Please register for that partnership session because I don't want to speak about it now, but someone will be doing that for themselves. For somebody who said, how do we compare the news results? Comparison of news results can be done on the economic calendar. It will show you actual forecast and previous. And for those, going back to that bonus, I've seen a lot of bonus questions, $250. That is also around, let's just say 95, 96K, 98K Naira. So if anybody, either or, you can deposit either of those amounts into your account. It will give you a bonus of the same amount. Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. We appreciate your time. If you're already a client with Hantec and you've already received the bonus, it's not something that we can give. This is only for new registered clients, unfortunately. But in saying that, please, everybody, Hantec is going to be doing something very soon. Have a look at your emails, your SMS shortly. We're going to be announcing some new things for the month of April. And going into the month of May. This is our 30th anniversary, so we want to celebrate that with our clients as well. So please sit tight for those clients that are existing with us as well as new clients. This is a good time for you to be joining us at Hantec because we have a lot of things going on. Okay, Mr. Titus, I can see that you have a query. Please, if you have any queries about your existing account, you will have access to your account manager. Please send them an email or WhatsApp and just message them if you're facing any difficulties. Chris Ugo has asked, has Hantec server been changed? Yes, Hantec server has been changed to server 4. We've now become even bigger and better than we were before. So if you're trying to re-log into your accounts, please select server 4, Hantec Market server 4, and you have access to your training account. Again, if you're having any issues with that, please send a message to your account manager. Okay, thank you, everybody. I've seen quite a people asking about live accounts. If you haven't opened your account already, please follow this link, register. There's bonus going on. We have things coming in the month of May. So this is a good time to open your account with us here at Hantec. Thank you for joining us on this session today. As I mentioned, this is a series that will be taking place every day now until the end of April at least, and probably continuing into May. So please, I request everybody continue to come to class. If you're not doing anything, this is a good time for you to learn a new skill, acquire a tool that, will allow you to make additional income whilst you're sitting at home. Corona is not letting anybody go out. I'm here in London. I've been at home for 2-3 weeks now, and it's only trading and my work that is keeping me sane. So this is a good time for you to join us here at Hantec. I'll answer this. This is my last question I'm going to ask. Somebody's asked, what is the difference between Hantec Market and Hantec Global? Very good question. As of February this year, Hantec Global then joined Hantec Markets. We are now a even bigger and better company. All of our partners, all of our entities, all of our offices around the world are now one company under Hantec Markets. So that is Dubai, London, Nigeria, Jordan, India, Pakistan, China, Australia, New Zealand. All of us are now one family. So that is the relationship between Hantec Markets and Hantec Global. So again, thank you all for coming. I can see there are a few questions. Please join us in our classes. I don't want to take too much time, or else I'll be here answering questions all day. But we'll come back to it. We have a session tomorrow. Please join us on that session tomorrow. And yeah, we'll continue. Thank you guys for joining us here at Hantec.